Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on Tuesday, February 25, 2025. I cannot believe it's the end of February already. Well, this might be a long video. I'm not sure how long, but we're going to take a deep dive again into my favorite Bureau of Instigation and their right arm, InfraGard, and the fusion centers. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Anyway, but I want to give a heads up to the one person so far who has purchased items from Redemption Shield, EMF protection at its finest. You may or may not know that Freya's Cat Rescue, my 501c3 nonprofit cat rescue, has partnered with Redemption Shield. And Redemption Shield offers all of these EMF products. I'll show you right here. Beanie hats, etc., etc. And you, dear people, will receive 10% off of your purchases. And your purchases actually go to support Freya's Cat Rescue. So you receive a 10% discount. And then Freya's Cat Rescue receives a small commission. So the last person that purchased from Redemption Shield actually donated $4.41 to Freya's Cat Rescue, and thank you so much for your purchases. I'll leave the code down below. It's also included in all of my video details in the description section. So there's a referral link, 10% off using the link below. Freya's Cat Rescue will earn commission. You'll receive 10% off your off of your purchase, and it's actually Freya Cat Lorraine or Freya Cat. They have specific codes here. Each one of them works. Freya Cat Lorraine or just Freya Cat, Freya. Thank you so much for your feedback on the deliveries with Federal Express. I think it's unacceptable for Federal Express to relabel a package and then for it to arrive damaged and leave it that way, because the way it works, and just so you know, if a package arrives damaged from anywhere and Federal Express is hand delivering that to you, they have a responsibility to point out that the package is damaged. And at that moment, you can give the package back to Federal Express and refuse the delivery. But my Federal Express guy took off like a bat out of hell yesterday. He saw me walk out of the house. He had his tail between his legs and he drove off again like a hot potato. So I did contact Chewy, and Chewy is wonderful. I have been working with Chewy even before I was a nonprofit. And I love them. They are wonderful. And we are Chewy.com partners. So we have a Chewy wish list, Freya's Cat Rescue. We have a wish list. You can purchase gift cards for us that will be sent to our auto shipments, and we have several auto shipments, and we can automatically apply that to us. And I also thank all of the subscribers who have donated food. There was one person that donated 6 bags of dry cat food because I put a plea out there that all the animals out here were eating all the cat food. And thank you so much. We're down to our last bag of that. We actually used up 5 bags already. And then I had, a couple of bags on hand. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. We also partner with Small Pet Select. Small Pet Select is also another wonderful company. Through our link, which is on our main page, when you scroll down, all of our links there, they will provide a commission to us for all of your purchases. Small Pet Select sells items for chickens, guineas, chinchillas, hamsters, guinea pigs. There's some cat stuff in there too, but mostly those kinds of animals. I want to let you know about the recent thefts here. Thefts, yes, thefts. One is inconsequential, but nevertheless, it belongs to me, and it makes my life easier because it helps me clean the chicken coops. I keep brushes in both of the chicken coops, as well as the scrapers. Well, one of the vintage brushes made from straw was stolen. It's gone. It's nowhere. I know exactly where I left it. I left it on a shelf in chicken coop number 2, and the creature came along and just swiped it. Yesterday, they stole my $80 Swatch watch. Now, this is the third. I'm only here 5.5 years. This is my third watch since living in Kentucky that has either been stolen or broken by these losers. So I now had to buy another watch. And meanwhile, I just installed a new battery. And they, of course they know because they surveil me. Okay, so also please, when you send me emails, send me 1 or 2 or even 3 at a time. But for new people that are contacting me for the first time, 8 emails, I'm not going to read them. I'm too busy. I don't have time. I don't have distractions. I'm going to give you an update on Jessica Thomaston. I had ChatGPT create a petition. I'm not going to send it off yet. We've got to get a GoFundMe and install it in the petition. I have now placed 2 phone calls to her attorney, neither of which were returned, but at least yesterday I got to speak with a very nice secretary, and I let her know that Jessica's there against her will. Her psychiatrist has misdiagnosed her, falsely labeling her, medicating her against her will. He calls her a liar. He says this to her. He calls her a liar. He tells her she's delusional and tells her she might be schizophrenic. This has got 7 months. So I call the psychiatrist. Well, he's not a psychiatrist. He's an MD. He does not have a license in psychiatry. Just so you know, there's a difference between a certification and a license. And I'll say for a fact, I have multiple certifications. Many, many, many. But I am not, nor will ever be, a licensed health psychologist. When I finished my master's degree in health psychology, it was a non-licensure program. You just sort of automatically get into the licensure area when you become a PhD. And I was going into the PhD program, but these criminals took me out. Yes, my PhD was going to be in forensic psychology. And I was in the process of transferring my credits, getting signed up, and these effers took me out by infecting me with Lyme disease. And yes, that's what they do. They do all kinds of things, because they watch your patterns, they watch what you're doing for the plausible deniability. So I'm just going to say for the record, in my family, my entire family, no one has had the C word. No one has had cancer of anything. No one has had liver, kidney, arthritis, nothing. There is virtually no disease in my family. On my mother's side and my father's side. My grandma was 92 or 93 when she passed away. My Italian grandma. My mom's mom was unalived in a hospital, just the way my mother was. And she was only 42 years old. She went in for a routine hysterectomy, and guess what happened? Overnight, she bled to death. That's right. So you have to wonder, is my family targeted? Is this the way they just take people out? So no, there is no disease in my family. My father smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and he developed emphysema, which nobody else in the family has. There's no reason, because nobody else in my family smokes cigarettes. Not my mother. We didn't smoke and drink, like my father didn't drink alcohol. He'd have an occasional beer, the way men do, like watching a game or something. But no, we don't have any of that in my family. So if I become ill for some unknown reason, it's deliberate, it's being done to me, and I don't consent. For the record, I don't consent to the experimentation being done on me and my pets. Oh, and you can't say that I'm not being experimented on, especially since you're such idiots that you actually friggin' left a suture in my body. Yeah, you really just left a suture in my body that's posted online. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, but it's not happening. So anyway, I spoke to somebody yesterday who has discovered their implants. Am I allowed to say that word? Oh, just little thingies that just miraculously show up on your body after they knock you out for 15, 20 minutes. Maybe that's how my watch disappeared too. You know how the technology exists, so nobody's aware of it except targeted people, right? The technology exists for them to pause you in time and steal anything off your body, implant you, all that stuff. They do that. So anyway, guess what? This person's implants, guess who they were registered to? Most of them were registered to the military, and one was even registered to NATO. Imagine walking around having this stuff inside you and not even knowing it, and then finding out who put it there. So anyway, this is a question and answer. What are the questions? Okay, so let's see what we got going on. Please hit the thumbs up. This is going to be long. It's going to be worth it. I hope you share. I hope you share this video. Who are targets? Me, you, everyone. There are people out there. I watch YouTube creators. They just don't get it yet. I don't know. They're targeted. But maybe they're at the early stages. You know, I try to warn people. You can't warn people. They have to experience it for themselves. So, why do they target you? Neuro rights, lands, men, women, children, intellectual property, pets, animals. They want your land. They want what you have. These are psychopaths. These are sociopaths. These are malignant narcissists. And if you listen to the Kay Griggs interview, you know, she's the military, ex-military wife. She reminds us that her husband was inebriated. You know, he was drugged, alcoholic most of the time while he's giving orders and stuff. And he would write a diary and tell her all his deepest, darkest secrets while he was drunk. And he basically said that the military hate women. They're all perverts. At the very minimum, they're bisexual. Most of them are gay. And they're very immature. That kind of makes sense to me. Because they're being indoctrinated at a very young age. They haven't experienced life yet. So in many, many ways, the military is a cult. C-U-L-T. It's a cult. They take these men and women in, 18 years old? And they indoctrinate them into a lifestyle, giving orders, not questioning things. So they turn into literal sheep. They're sheep. So now let's go into, let's move on. Well, we can't talk about fusion centers, InfraGard, without discussing, you know, they're all complicit, without discussing my favorite Bureau of Instigation. You know, those people. You know, Kyle Seraphin and Stephen Friend, the suspendables from the FBI who work there as agents and stuff. They pretty much said that the FBI just likes to throw people on the watch list. It doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty, they're just going to throw you on. So I'm subscribed to their mailing lists. So Kyle Seraphin, the topic of one of his most recent videos, I haven't watched it yet, is Kash Patel, make the FBI great again. Well, I'm sorry, Seraphin. Kyle, was the FBI ever great? I mean, I can't remember when. But I've only been researching them now, since I've been a targeted person, and they haven't been great. And you can ask, all of the politicians that have questioned them. How about the ACLU? And they're trapped in a black box, 2016, based upon 2008 FOIA requests. So please tell me, if you're listening to me, please tell me when my favorite bureau was great. I would like to know. I missed out on something, I'm curious. When were they great? But anyway, this is not a joke, by the way. You have to make light of these things because I'm being tortured here in my own home. So we're going to discuss fusion centers, but we're going to get to fusion centers, but we're going to talk first about InfraGard. Okay, let's talk about first the InfraGard. Now, we got a lot of juicy stuff about these creatures, and this is a deep dive. And I have reported on InfraGard before, but I want to read all about the fusion centers and InfraGard. Now, InfraGard. Let me just get my information here. InfraGard is a partnership between the FBI and members of the private sector aimed at, please don't laugh, guys, protecting U.S. critical infrastructure through collaboration and information sharing. Okay, keep that in mind while we go through this deep dive about InfraGard being a partnership between the FBI and members of the private sector, now you know who these creatures are, aimed at protecting U.S. critical infrastructure through collaboration and information sharing. Now, as far as the U.S. critical infrastructure goes, it's actually, this is a ruse, because InfraGard partnering with the FBI and fusion centers and the private sectors, so they're not protecting U.S. infrastructure. What they're protecting is their infrastructure, their organized crime network that they created to target American citizens. So if you want to learn about InfraGard, you can go to infragard.org. But we're going to go there anyway. So the number and locations of chapters, they have chapters sort of like the Three Masons. And one of my subscribers, after looking at my vandalized tree, she says she calls them Tree Masons. I like that one. We're going to take that one. So the Tree Masons, the Freemasons, the Three Masons, the loser club, that they back in medieval times and stuff, and they like to perform bitchcraft and all that stuff. So anyway, InfraGard comprises 77 chapters. Now, when you add 7 plus 7, what do you get? Right? You get 14. What do you get? Isn't that like a Saturn type of a number? Like Saturn, like Satan? It's known as the InfraGard Member Alliances, IMAs, across the United States. And each IMA, this is important, is located with a local FBI field office. Then you can go to the InfraGardNational.org. These chapters are distributed nationwide, covering various states and regions. A complete list of chapters and their locations can be found on InfraGard's official website, infragard.org. Now, I'm going to tell you fact. When I first moved here, I was able to find my local InfraGard and all the names of the people who head it. And then after I started talking about it, when I moderated the Chief Damon Jones podcast, the whole website changed, and now you can't find their names anymore. So the purpose of reporting structure is that the mission of InfraGard is to foster, here you go, collaboration and information sharing between the FBI and the private sector to enhance the protection of critical infrastructure, which has nothing to do with anything going on in the U.S. other than their gang-stalking program. Each IMA operates as a nonprofit organization governed by a board of directors, which means that you can, while they're not subject to FOIA, you can request that information in writing to them. As a public 501c3 nonprofit, you, me, anybody can write to that location and request any information from them. How many members they have, what's the income that comes in, how much money goes in and out. They're required by law to tell you within 30 days. Otherwise, you can report them to the IRS. Okay? They can actually have their nonprofit status revoked if you do not respond to them. And I have requested information from some nonprofits in the community. I won't go there. But they have never responded. And instead, they have, like, harassed me instead for asking about the information. You can email me privately if you want to know who they are. But anyway, so each IMA, InfraGard, operates as a nonprofit organization governed by a board of directors and works closely with a dedicated FBI private sector coordinator. So all the channels go back to my favorite Bureau of Instigation. Okay. This structure ensures seamless public-private collaboration in addressing threats to critical infrastructure. And you know what the threats are? It's you and me calling out these people for absolutely doing nothing but wasting public tax dollars and harassing innocent people for profit. So who do you think has my watch? They stole my watch with the new battery. And last year they stole more than $7,000 in items from inside my house. Some of them were brand new. And right now, I just did an update, $242 of items have been stolen since January from inside my house. Inside and outside my house. 242. And we're only in the second month of the year. Membership. So InfraGard's vetted membership includes business executives, entrepreneurs, lawyers, security personnel, military and government officials, IT professionals, academia, and state and local law enforcement. And these members contribute industry-specific insights to advance, don't laugh please, national security. As of recent reports, InfraGard has over 70,000 members nationwide. You hear that? You go to infragardnational.org. Funding and maintenance costs. Membership in InfraGard is usually free. However, there are some local IMAs that may assess nominal fees to cover operational expenses such as meetings and events. For example, Los Angeles charges an annual fee of $50. Then you go to mytechnews.com, MITEC news.com. Specific details regarding the overall income generation and maintenance costs of InfraGard are not publicly disclosed. Well, wait a minute. They are a 501c3 nonprofit, public nonprofit. They are required by IRS law to publicly disclose those costs. And if they don't publicly disclose them, like on GuideStar or on their website, which they should do, you can ask them for it. While you cannot FOIA request it, like it's not a FOIA request, you can write them a letter and ask them to provide the information they're required by law to provide it within 30 days. InfraGard serves as a critical conduit for information sharing. Oh, we're going to get to the fusion centers soon, right? Information sharing and collaboration between the FBI, private sector stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Let your minds wander on the private sector stakeholders. You know, the people that nominated you into the program that are collecting money on you, stealing from you, and I collectively working to secure the nation's critical infrastructure. What the F is the critical infrastructure? You will see this terminology on every damn website, every sheriff's department website, every police department's website across the entire United States. They're all in on it. Elon Musk, if you're listening to this, Doge, please do a deep dive into the FBI, fusion centers, and InfraGard. InfraGard and fusion centers. Let's get on to the fusion centers now. Fusion centers. They fuse. They take all of your information. Right? They like to steal your information. Fusion centers. Right now, there are 80 in the United States. They like to share your information with the FBI, the Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, state and local tribal law enforcement. You have no privacy. So InfraGard and fusion centers collaborate closely to enhance the security of the United States infrastructure through information sharing and coordinated efforts. Now, what people don't realize is this has nothing to do with securing anything in the U.S. This is a closely knit, organized crime network stealing information for predictive policing, gang-stalking, organized stalking, harassment, black budgets, covert experimentation, all under the guise of national security. It's a partnership. InfraGard is a partnership between the FBI and the private sector. InfraGard comprises members from various industries dedicated to protecting critical infrastructure. It operates through local chapters known as the InfraGard Member Alliances, which work in tandem with the FBI field offices. And the fusion centers are state and locally owned and operated entities that serve as focal points for the receipt, analysis, gathering, and sharing of threat-related information among federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, and private sector partners. They aim to detect, deter, and disrupt terrorist attacks and other threats. Well, please leave a comment down below. When have they ever prevented any mass shooter that you're aware of? Anybody that's gone postal? How about, what happened with Gabby Petito? How about what happened with Aaron Alexis? How about the Parkland shooter? How about the Batman shooter? What's his name? How about all of the people that they're inflicting with pulse microwave radiation, radio frequencies, covert implants, and voice-to-skull technology? It's a collaborative relationship between InfraGard and fusion centers. It's symbiotic, with both entities benefiting. They both benefit from shared information and resources. Several memoranda of understanding, MOUs, exist. They exist between the local InfraGard chapters and fusion centers, facilitating collaboration at the local level, meaning your perps, meaning your InfraGard fusion center operatives that are living in your community. They are the handlers of your moronic neighbors. In practice, fusion centers often integrate the missions of various programs, including the FBI's InfraGard program, to create a unified approach to threat analysis and response. Good job. Good job. Nobody prevented Donald Trump from his ear almost getting shot off. For example, the Joint Regional Intelligence Center, JRIC, serves as a regional hub where the missions of the Terrorism Liaison Officer, TLO, InfraGard, and the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, JTTF, converge. They're just one big happy little group. Elon Musk needs to investigate the finances of the FBI, fusion centers, and InfraGard. Oh, and wait till you see. I'm going to show you some good stuff. And thank you. A couple of subscribers have provided some screenshots and links that we'll get into. So through this collaboration, InfraGard members provide valuable industry-specific insights, while fusion centers offer a platform for comprehensive threat analysis and the dissemination of actionable intelligence, meaning information that they have stolen from you and me, everybody listening to this. This partnership strengthens national security by leveraging the strengths of both organizations in a coordinated effort to protect the nation's critical infrastructure. And I'm going to just say it. It has nothing to do with the nation's infrastructure. It has to do with protecting their organized crime network against the American people. The human T, the human traffic lights. That's how I discuss it on my channel. The human traffic lights. Now we're going to go here. Oh, I just received an email. Okay, no, let's get on to the next. Okay, so now I'm on the NFCAUSA.org, National Fusion Center Association. You've got to see this. Wow, they do this little fancy schmancy website. Here you go. Oh, and they're having an annual training conference this year. We can all register. Registration is open now for the annual training conference. Register today. National Fusion Center Association. Help protect America. Check it out. Oh, SAR. We're gonna go there. We're gonna click on some of this information. I'm gonna read it to you so you have it handy. National Fusion Center Association, helping protect America. The National Fusion Center Association represents the interests of state and major urban area fusion centers, as well as associated interests of states, tribal nations, and units of local government in order to promote the development and sustainment of fusion centers. You hear this? It's all self-promotion. It's all protecting the fusion centers. It's to encourage effective, ethical. Oh, no. Oh, come on. They're lying right here. Oh, my goodness. Encourage effective, ethical, and lawful intelligence and information sharing, and prevent and reduce the harmful effects of crime and terrorism on victims, individuals, and communities. You are kidding me. Well, I've got some terrorists that live right down the block. I've reported them to the Sheriff's Department and the FBI. Oh, but the FBI already knows that because I don't even have to call them anymore. Because now that I know that every time I file an incident report, it automatically goes to my favorite bureau. I don't have to waste another phone call. I don't have to waste any more time contacting them. It's there automatically. Ethical and lawful intelligence? Okay. Well, I want to know what is ethical and lawful about people coming in and out of my house, stealing from me on my own property. What's ethical about the cloaked individuals caught on camera? What is ethical about the tearing up of my property? What's ethical about covertly collecting information on the American people without telling them what you're using it for? Fusion centers. And, you know, the National Fusion Centers, they host numerous events every year. It includes training in regional and national conferences. The annual training event brings together more than 800 Fusion Center employees, federal and local partners, and corporate sponsors. You know, those people that hire these criminals, revenge for hire, and give them money under the table. Well, if you want to attend this national event, it will take place April 22nd to 24, 2025 at the Omni Shoreham Hotel, 2500 Calvert Street, Northwest in Washington, D.C. Here, I'll show you so that you can have it handy in case you want to investigate. Now, let's see what else we're going to see here. Oh, let's go back up here. We're going to click on this SAR, you know, the Suspicious Activity Reports. Here, let me show you here. The Suspicious Activity Report for private and corporate partners' use. SAR is the sharing of information concerning activities, incidents, or behaviors that the reporting individual considers to be outside of normal parameters. Oh, really? This can include, but it's not limited to, threats, risks, and concerns to the public safety, and is not limited to known criminal activities. Oh, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, now, to the best of my knowledge, tampering with a mailbox is a federal offense. Skinning animals alive is considered to be animal cruelty. There are laws about that, even in the state of Kentucky. Even in Kentucky, there are laws against these things. How about the laws against animals at large without tags on them? How about trespassing, criminal mischief, wearing a black ski mask, which is a disguise, in the month of May, tearing down a gate on somebody else's property? How about littering, which in the state of Kentucky is a criminal offense? How about deliberately littering on someone else's property? A suspicious activity report might be your security cameras showing your neighbors driving up at your gate at 12:03 a.m. or 12:06 a.m. and littering your property over your gate, trespassing first, littering, poopy toilet paper. And then Sheriff Daniel Isaacs does nothing to investigate it. Does nothing to investigate the skinned animal that was shoved into my mailbox. Or has done nothing to investigate the criminal trespassing tearing up my outer field, even when I gave the location of the criminal who did it. You want a suspicious activity report? I can provide dozens, maybe even hundreds. Oh, but you can call 911 for life-threatening emergencies and report incidents to local law enforcement, or submit a suspicious activity report by clicking below. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here's New Jersey, where I used to live. Let me just see where this takes us. Oh. Well, see, I'm going to tell you they're all in on it. So now if I were submitting a suspicious activity report in New Jersey and I clicked on it, guess where it takes me? Well, guess what? I filed a 61-page complaint with the Department of Law and Public Safety Office of the Attorney General, the state of New Jersey. Nothing happened. You know what they did? They sent it all the way back to the Manalapan Police Department, who reviewed it and determined, by investigating their own selves, that my complaint held no warrant. There was nothing. Oh, so let's go to Kentucky. Let's see what happens when I click on Kentucky. Okay. Oh, okay. So here we go. Kentucky. Oh, I didn't realize this. I can report a crime online. No-cost service developed and maintained by the Kentucky... Oh, here you go. The Kentucky State Police. Filing a false police report is a crime, punishable by 180 days of jail and fine up to... That's okay. I would never file a false one because I always provide evidence. Start a new incident. Okay, I might very well do that. Okay, so now these are suspicious activity reports. And remember, the Fusion Centers work with InfraGard. They have sponsorship programs. The National Fusion Center Association sponsorship programs includes presence at our annual training events, as well as opportunities to engage with the Fusion Center community throughout the year. We respect and value our corporate partners for their ongoing support of the NFCA. Please click on the logos below to learn about the missions and offerings of our current sponsors. Okay, so here you go. Let me show you some of their sponsors. And here's the premier sponsors. See all these sponsors? These are... Oh my goodness. What's that? What's that? That looks like a Target. Let me scroll up a little bit here so you can see here. Oh, Flock. It said Flock. Those Flock cameras. No. We already know about Flock. It's on my channel. But the sponsor resource guide can be viewed here. Let's see. There might be more sponsors. Sponsorship program. So these are the people that they partner with to surveil you. Oh, it's very long. It's a sponsor resource guide. It's a PDF. It's 31 pages. You can click on that yourself, guys. So now, let me move on. Okay, so now this is GuideStar. Just so you know, GuideStar. GuideStar is a nonprofit portal, or it's a portal for verified nonprofits. After you file your taxes, a lot of the times the information goes up there. So this is the National Fusion Center Association, Inc. So it's incorporated. Guess where it is? Alexandria, Virginia. Isn't there a military base around there? Leave a comment down below. To represent the interests of fusion centers at all levels of government and promote the development and sustainment of fusion centers to enhance public safety. They encourage effective and professional intelligence and information sharing to reduce harmful effects of crime and terrorism on our communities. That's their mission statement. And by the way, just as an FYI, when you file lawsuits and you file complaints, the mission statement is really important. So now their mission is to represent the interests of fusion centers at all levels of government. So they're representing their own selves. Their own selves. They're not. It doesn't say anything about representing the American people. It doesn't say anything about that. It says that it's to promote the development and sustainment of fusion centers. And they allegedly enhance public safety. I don't feel safe, do you? They encourage effective and professional intelligence and information sharing to reduce the harmful effects of crime and terrorism on our communities. Well, I'm going to say right now that's a crock of bullshit. But hey, if you want to find out more about the main address of the fusion centers and write them a letter, because you can't FOIA request them, but you can request information in writing, and they're required to respond within 30 days. Otherwise, you can report them to people like GuideStar and the IRS. So here you go. Here. You can write to this creature. Here's the EIN number. So they've been in business since 2011. Oh my goodness. That year sounds vaguely familiar to you, doesn't it? 9/11? 2011? I don't know. That's a very suspicious year to start a fusion center. The EIN is 27-164-6008. And the NTEE code is Board of Trade, S as in Sam 46. The principal officer is Daniel J. Mahoney, and the main address is 5350 Shawnee Road, SHAWNEE Road, Alexandria, Virginia, 22312. And this organization is required to file an IRS Form 990 or 990EZ. And we're going to go there. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the IRS website. Hold on to your hats, guys. So this is what I do. I go to the IRS tax exempt organization search. And you don't have to know the location. You don't have to know the location. You don't have to know their EIN number. All you need to do is know the name. So this is what I did. I just typed in InfraGard. And I got 101 results. And I'll just show you a little bit here. We'll just show you a little bit. Central Pennsylvania InfraGard Chapter, Eastern Carolina InfraGard Inc., InfraGard NH Members Alliance, New Hampshire, InfraGard Alaska Members Alliance, InfraGard Albany, New York, InfraGard Atlanta, Georgia, InfraGard Boston, Woburn, Massachusetts. InfraGard Charlotte, North Carolina. Cincinnati, Ohio. Denver, Colorado. Honolulu, Hawaii. Missouri City, Texas. That's weird. New City, New York. Huntsville, Alabama. Boise, Idaho. Wyoming, Michigan. Brandon, Mississippi. Alexandria, Virginia. Pittsford, New York. Charleston, West Virginia. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Boston, Massachusetts. Tallahassee, Florida. San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is only page 1 of 5. I'm not going to read them all. But what we're going to do is we're going to explore how we can find out the names of the people involved in these chapters and how much money they earn and their determination letters. So here we go. So here's a deep dive into the Central Pennsylvania InfraGard chapter, State College, Pennsylvania, United States, right here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the determination letter first. The determination letter is the letter that the IRS sends the nonprofit to let them know, congratulations, you are now a nonprofit and here is your EIN number. But it also tells you what type of a nonprofit you are. It tells you in there whether or not you're a public or a private. So I had to actually download this. So I'm just going to open it up here. 1 second. And this is just to explain to you how this works so that when you do your research, you can find the InfraGard Infusion Center, etc. in your... This is what it looks like. This is what the letter looks like. Let me just expand it up here so that you can see what it looks like. This is the kind of letter you get back from the IRS. You can see this is a public charity. This is a 509A2. This one is different. Contribution deductibility, yes. We're pleased to tell you that we've determined you're exempt from federal income tax. Okay, let me read it because it's too fuzzy here. We're pleased to tell you that we've determined you're exempt from federal income tax under the IRS Code Section 501c3. Donors can deduct contributions they make to you under the IRC Section 170. You're also qualified to receive tax-deductible bequests, devices, transfers, or gifts under Section 2055-2106-2522. This letter could help resolve questions on your exempt status. Please keep it for your records. Excuse me. Based upon this information, we approved your request for a retroactive reinstatement under Section 4 of the Revenue Procedure 2014-11. Oh, so they may have had to be reapproved or something for some reason. Maybe they didn't file their 990s. A 990 is an IRS form that they have to file every year. I file one every year. I also have to file New Jersey State organization of returns. So let me just close this up here. I'm going to close this up, and then we're going to go back here. And so go back, and we'll see their Form 990N. Oh, well, this is not good. They haven't filed their tax returns here. So they filed one in 2016, 17, 18, 19 was missing, 20, 21, 22, 23, well, 24 is upcoming. So let's see, in their 2022 postcard, now you're going to see a pattern here. You're going to see a pattern. This is for all you people out there that live in Pennsylvania. This is the creature you can contact for your local InfraGard chapter because he signed off on the InfraGard Central Pennsylvania tax. There you go. Oh, gross receipts are not greater than $50,000. And what you'll find when you go looking through these, every one of them says less than $50,000. And it doesn't matter how many members they have. It doesn't matter how many members they have. It's all the same. I've done this research before, but let me just see. Let's go to we'll see if we can go to Kentucky. Let's see if we can find Kentucky. See if we can find it, guys. Let me see if I can find. Okay, Indiana, Alabama, Missouri, Georgia, Louisiana, Maryland, Wisconsin, Utah, Tennessee, Vermont, Wisconsin, New York, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Ohio, Virginia, Kentucky. Here's one. InfraGard National Members Alliance. Let's see. Wow, isn't that interesting? Here, I'll show you here, guys. Oh, they left out the name of the person here. Look. InfraGard National Members Alliance. Wow, they left off the name. They left out the name. Gross receipts, less than $50,000. InfraGard. Now, that's in Kentucky, in Louisville. See here, look. They left out the officer's name. They don't want you to know who it is. Let me see if in the previous year they had a name. No. And in fact, it's actually a different mailing address. Look there. And then there. Two different mailing addresses. Okay, let's go down to 2021 in Kentucky. They did the same thing here. There's no name. They don't want anybody to know who the creature is. Okay, so now that's the IRS website, and what that is you go to irs.gov / let me just get to the main irs.gov / charities -non- profits / search for tax exempt organizations. Here. You welcome my feedback? Okay, not now. No, I'm busy. I'm busy right now. Okay, next. Well, here's the LinkedIn profile for the National Fusion Center Association. Check it out. Eight employees. And let me show you who these employees are. The mission statement is to represent the interests of fusion centers in states, tribal nations, and units of local government in order to promote the development and sustainment of fusion centers to enhance public safety, encourage effective, efficient, ethical, lawful, and professional intelligence and information sharing, and prevent and reduce the harmful effects of crime and terrorism on victims, individuals, and communities. These are the employees at the National Fusion Center Association. One second. It just transferred me somewhere else. One second. Okay, just got me out of LinkedIn. I just got out of LinkedIn. Okay, let's see if I can find it again. Goodness gracious. I hope everybody's doing well today. Let me find it here again. And I'm not finding it right now. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I apologize for that. I clicked on it. Anyway, it's taking me back to signing in, and I'm not able to do that right now. But I was able to click on it before, and I was able to actually view the people. The first one on the list was a PhD. These are all very young people, so they're duped. into joining. Just the way the Freemasons dupe people into joining their cult. So the infusion centers, 80 in the United States, share your information with the FBI, the Department of Justice, and who are involved. Cyberstalkers, gamers, parody channels to harass and stalk and embarrass targeted people. Who else is involved? Corrupt cops. They fake incident reports, citizen informants, your common perps. Vigilante, vendetta, vindictive, revenge for hire. It's a secret. It's a big secret. They run. They ruin the competitor. They shatter reputations. They destroy lives. They are an international team of operatives. But it's a big secret. And guess what, folks? I'm powerful, you're powerful, we are powerful, and they are cowards. This is an organized crime network. My favorite bureau, InfraGard. Fusion centers. And I would like to do a deep dive into their earnings and what it costs to run these places that are collecting information on you and I. It's not necessary. They're not preventing any terrorist activities. In fact, they're instigating it, causing it. But I look forward to your questions and comments down below. We're just over an hour here. I have to sign off for now. Take care of my animals.